What's up everyone, Lane Whitaker here from Grand City Media, and vacation's almost over, but before I go, I gotta make some fish. We're at the beach. I'm gonna show you guys how to make my foolproof fish. I came up with this a couple years ago. It's impossible to mess up even for me. You can do it too. Let's do it together. It's time for Cooking with Lane. Today we are making foolproof baked fish. Starting with cherry tomatoes. This is 2 pints of them. The thing with these is the package has little holes in the bottom. A lot of people don't realize it. First of all, don't put them in the refrigerator. They don't belong in the refrigerator. They belong on the counter. Step 2, when it's time to wash them, you got a drainer built in. Just go stick it under the faucet, let it drip dry, and then they're done. It's easy. Step 1, out of the way. Tomatoes are drained, so they're gonna go in a baking pan. It doesn't really matter what size pan you use, as long as it's big enough to hold your fish. Don't want it too deep. This is like a 9 by 13. And then garlic. Smush the garlic into cloves. They're still in their paper. That's fine. We're gonna throw these in here. And then all of this is gonna get kind of tossed around with olive oil. I'd say that's probably 2 good tablespoons. And salt. That's a tablespoon. And then we're ready to put something a little acidic in there. We're basically making an incredible broth for this fish to swim in while it cooks. It's gonna soak in all those flavors, and then that broth in turn becomes the sauce that's gonna go on top of the fish when we eat it. So we need to make the broth itself. I've got this thyme, a couple sprigs of that we can throw in, stems and all. Then to make the liquid, we're gonna start with a lemon. Half of this lemon I'm gonna squeeze in, and my hands are clean and I'm catching the seeds in my fingers so we don't get those in there. And then the rest of this lemon, I'm actually gonna cut it into some slices, like this, real thin slices, that we can just put in there all together like that. See any seeds, pop them out. That goes in. And then the last thing is white wine. This has been in the refrigerator for a week. It doesn't really matter what kind, Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, whatever. Just about a cup of white wine goes in there. If you don't want to use white wine, you can use broth, chicken broth, vegetable stock, whatever you want, water even. But the wine's gonna give it a really nice kind of acid flavor to it. So I got this piece of grouper. The skin has come off. That's a little bit of the skin that's left. Make sure there's no bones in it. I went through and double checked because nobody wants to bite into a bone. We're gonna season the fish. This is basically the last thing we're gonna do. Some salt, some black pepper, and then flip it over. Make sure both sides are seasoned. If you get smaller pieces, you can do that too. You could do tilapia, flounder, catfish would work in this. Pretty much any salmon, pretty much any kind of fish is gonna work. And now we're gonna go into the pool with this fish, and make sure everything gets covered up, mix it around. The goal is to kind of make these cherry tomatoes burst when they're in the oven. The garlic will kind of roast a little bit, get nice and toasty. It's all gonna come together in the oven. Last thing, some capers. Continue to give it that acidic kick. I think I said acid flavor. That was a really great way of putting it. The acidic kick, and now this is it. So you saw how easy that was. It took 2 minutes literally. This is gonna go in the oven 375 for about 20 minutes. After 20 minutes I'll check it, see how it looks. At the very end we'll put it under the broiler, give it a little color on top, but we're good to go. All right, this has been in the oven for about half an hour. The fish is cooked. Some of these tomatoes are starting to kind of split open a little bit and give their juices to the liquid there. I just want it to reduce a little more and get a little color. So back in the oven, turn the broiler on high, 5 minutes, we'll be done. There we go. Look at that, look how nice that looks. And it's a little hot, but as you can see, we got some color on the tomatoes and the fish a little bit. Now it's time to eat. The one thing I do at the end is put some fresh herbs. This is cilantro. You can use parsley, whatever you want. If you cook it in there the whole time, it's just gonna get cooked down to nothing. So it gives it a little brightness at the very end. But I'm gonna cut myself some fish. I've got some rice on the plate. Put it over here. Look at that sauce. I'm ready to eat some dinner. Let's get something to eat. Look at that fish falling apart, flaking apart. Get tomato, some rice, some capers. It's not gonna be hot at all, I'm sure. The grouper has a very light fishy taste, but you get the tomato and the lemon. And the caper gives it that brininess. You taste a little bit of the garlic, the wine. Delicious. Foolproof fish. I did that half an hour. You can do that too. This is Cooking with Lane. Let's do it together.